With that, I think we are all set up. Again, follow us. Make sure you join us. If you just listening in, we love you. You can listen in. You don't have to follow us, but if you do, we love to have you. If you're on here as well, and you are one of my friends, and you have good cash flow, and you love to contribute to us, we will love it. We love to help people. So that's that too, because I see most of my friends on here. You guys have money than I do, so we would love to have your money, and we hope that you guys will contribute for us to reach a lot of people. All right, okay. So our third seminar, I believe, we talked about philosophy, self love, and the self development. We touched on so many things. The core concept of what we talked about was how does one change his mindset? Because we believe that if you will change, everything around you will change, and that was what I learned from my mentor in chief, Jim Rohn. Jim Rohn, who was grew up from somewhere, I believe in Idaho, a poor kid, became one of the richest people back then. And it's all about the mindset, how you change your mind. I mean, again, I had an opportunity to turn this to a profit organization. My friends who are generous, we all decided that there is no need for us to be out there, collecting money from people that we believe don't even have. So our concept was that we're just going to contribute our own money and help others. So we set up this non-for-profit organization, and here we are today. But our philosophy, which is our driver, which actually gives us the concept, the mindset of us waking up every morning, contributing money to help people that honestly we've not even met. We I don't know any one of you guys here, of course, except for my friends. But this is something that we will continue to do, and we have registered our organization. We've been approved by the government of United States, and we are very happy about that. The state of Nevada, Las Vegas, to be precise, have also given us the opportunity to run as a non-for-profit organization. So these are all good things that we are doing, and we hope that at the end of the seminar, I mean, as I always tell you, take notes. These are very important stuff, because the things that we tell you here are things that we also apply to our daily lives. So we are doing the same thing. And I mean, if you want to beat LeBron James, those of you who like basketball, I don't. But those of you who like basketball, if you want to beat LeBron James, you got to work two times what LeBron does, which most people don't really do. But you cannot be the best if you don't train to catch up with the best. So if you want to be like us, just go ahead and do what we do. Okay, all right. So let's dive in. Today's seminar, it's on the topic financial literacy. How do you become financial independent? How do you actually build yourself to get to a point where you feel like, okay, I'm okay? Listen, guys, this topic is very, very, very important. Your success and failure to be able to have money and hold money depends on this topic that we are going to touch on today. And you're going to realize that I'm going to name a bunch of, successful folks who have done this, applied this to their lives, and they've been extremely successful. I do not understand why, a basic person like me or you can't do the same thing. You can do it too. As we always say, if you change, everything around you would change. And I believe most of us, anybody who is on here today, believes in the principle that they want to make money. I don't know about you, but I do. But I hope that everybody who is on here is able to apply these basic principles of financial literacy. And then once you do that, I tell you what, you'll be okay. All right. So somebody asked me last time. They said, okay, why do you want to talk about financial literacy? Because these things are not taught in school, but our lives are dependent on the money that we make. If you don't have money, forget about it. Nobody considers you serious. The families don't even pay attention to you. I believe it's John F. Kennedy who said, victory has so many fathers, but failure is an orphan. Basically, he's saying that if you're successful, everybody want to be around you. If your life is not going according to plan, nobody wants to be around you. So everybody wants to be around successful folks. Like a lot of people that would say no, Elon Musk, don't really know him, but we know him because he's got a lot of money. So in 2002, there is this reputable newsletter here in the United States, and they realized that about 76% of U.S. adults who make less than 50,000 are living paycheck to paycheck, compared to about 66% of those making 50,000 to 100,000, and about 47% making more than 100,000. This means that learning how you pay your bills, how you borrow, and how you save responsibly, and how and why to invest and plan for retirement. So most people actually make money, but they don't even have the money to save and to invest. If you pick nearly four people in the United States, three say that they are in debt today, and more than half think they will never get out of this debt. More than half of the people believe that they would never get out of the debt. So what that means is they're going to die with the debt, and their family members would have to pay for it. And more than half of people who make minimum wage, the minimum wage in the United States, I believe, is $9.50. Those who make $9.50 have to do two or more jobs to be able to survive. So how do you make sure you stand out and be able to save as you should? If we speak of financial literacy, to be financially literate is to know how to manage your money. How do you manage your money? How do you manage the money that comes in? Today, I'm going to explain to you, show you what I do, everything that we are doing to be successful, to have a lot of money in hand. And we hope that you apply these principles to your life as well. I strongly urge you to take notes. Don't just listen. Do not use your head as a storage bin. It does not work. You're going to forget. You're going to be like me and forget you will. Okay? So make sure you take notes. This means learning how to pay your bills, how you borrow, and how you save money responsibly. And how and why is very important. How do you save towards retirement? Because now we are healthy, or we are young, we believe, but someday we're going to retire and we cannot work, and we would have to depend on our money. This is why it's important for you to be financially literate, okay? With money coming in and out, with due dates and finance charges and fees attached to invoices and bills, and with overall responsibility of making the right decision about major purchases and investment consistently. This is why you have to be financially literate, because if you don't do none of that, I tell you what, you are not going to survive. When it's time for you to retire, when it's time for you to be an old man or old woman or old person and be hanging out in your zone, you're going to be broke, and broke, I promise you, you will. Okay. All right. Okay. So most people would like to think that because the stakes are so high, these things or financial literacy will be taught in school, but that's not the case. We don't. You have to go through the hardship of life to teach yourself how to save for whatever reason. I don't know. Managing your own money requires a fundamental understanding of a person's personal credit and willingness to embrace. Listen to this. You have to embrace your personal responsibilities. You cannot run from your personal responsibilities. If you borrow money, you have to pay for that money. Nobody really cares whether or not you cannot afford it. You said you were going to pay back. That's why you took it. So you have to be very financially responsible when you're doing this. That is, you pay your bills in a timely manner and you don't drown yourself in debt. Underscore the principle here. You pay your bills in time and you do not drown yourself in debt. You accept the fact that sometimes you have to sacrifice immediate demands and desires for long-term gains. There are most people in this life, they rather spend today buying flashy and fancy things just so we know they are there than to save for long-term. It looks good today, but tomorrow you are going to be the guy struggling here. Okay, so when it comes to financial literacy, there are 4 principles that I have identified that I believe that most people should adhere to. When it comes to principle number 1, well, let me list all 4, and then we will take it, one by one, and we will go into details. Okay, so principle number 1, financial literacy, is make money, make money, make money. Principle number 2. Budget your money. Budget your money. Principle number 3, save your money. Save your money. And the last principle, which I believe that's why most of us here are on today, and hence why I put it at the last one, because that's where everybody's interest is, how you multiply your money. So multiply your money. If you have $1 today, how can I convert that to $2 tomorrow? So the principles are 4: make money, budget your money, save your money, multiply your money. As simple as ABC. As it sounds, most people don't even adhere to either one of them. But people want to be successful. They want to have money. How are you going to do this if you don't follow these principles? So, with principle number 1, how do you make money? Well, first, you have to find a job, or you have to start your own business. I know most people, most of us on here are all aggressively looking for jobs. Henry, Sandy, Mustafa had to start a new trade because he wants to make money. Okay, so that's how you make money. You either have to find a job, which I have a job, thankfully to God, or you start your own business to make money. Budget your money, though it's quite convoluted. There are so many steps and principles that you have to do, and I hope you guys are taking notes. And guys, continue to flash me emojis, because that's the only time, or that's how I know you are interacting. If you have questions or contributing or comments to, gladly comment on the space, and we should be able to see that. But continue to flash emojis, because then I know you guys are engaged, and that keeps me going here. But principle number 2, budget your money. When it comes to budgeting of money, it adheres to two concepts. Concept number 1, inflows. When we say inflows, what is inflow? Inflow is the money that you make. So when you find a job and you start to get regular money, we call that as inflow. That is the money that is coming in. Okay, when you get an inflow, if you know you're gonna get on a regular basis 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 5 weeks, if you're gonna get paid at a certain point in time, the most important thing after you have identified your inflow is to open a bank account. Open a bank account. As simple as these things sounds, it's extremely important. Most people, or some of us on here today, do not have a bank account. I don't understand. You have to have a bank account. Okay? Open a bank account. Once you have an inflow coming in, open a bank account. 2, set up direct deposit. Direct deposit is where an employer or somebody who owes you pays you on a recurring basis. So you give them your ACH and bank information, and you are paid on a weekly or bi-weekly basis. If you do this, somebody asked me, why do I even need a bank account? Well, it keeps your money secured. Because those of us here in the United States, and I believe in Africa, Ghana, Nigeria, no, there's a whole bunch of people on this seminar today. If you put your money in a bank, it's insured. Those of us in the United States, it's insured by the FDIC, which is the Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation. It insures it up to 250,000 US dollars. Well, so if you have more than $250,000, then you're pretty much SOL. So if the bank goes down, the government will not come in to save you. But the government will, because most of you who followed the news, just about a week ago, Silicon Valley Bank pretty much collapsed. A lot of people lost their money in the United States. Millions and billions of dollars went gone. The government have decided to pay everybody whose money was in excess of the $250,000. But that is United States, and I hope these things will also happen in Ghana. One of the other reasons why you have to put your money in the bank account is it protects you from theft. If somebody breaks into your home and steals your stuff, your money would not be sitting there. They won't have it. So then there's still the things that you have, and you still have your money at the bank. You could go there and withdraw from it. Also, natural disaster. It protects you from natural disaster. Assuming you are at home, and I know it rains a lot in Ghana and Nigeria and all these places. And when it rains, it gets crazy, get catastrophic. Come to sweep in your stuff, sweeps in your home, sweeps everything that you have out there. Your money that you have stashed to the ground, that you have it sitting somewhere in a safe, the safeguard washed away. Now your money is gone. Hence why it's very important for every one of us to have a bank account. Do not be keeping money on you. It makes no sense whether you show off or not. Rich people don't even hold money. It's us, those of us who are broke, who are always trying to show off $100 bill and what have you. Super rich folks, you never see them carrying money. Okay, that is underneath the inflow. When you are making money, that's how you keep your money. But making money and budgeting money, as I mentioned, is with two principles: inflows and outflows. So you may ask, what's an outflow? Outflow are your expenses, your recurring expenses. Expenses, so on a monthly basis or a weekly basis, or sometimes even on a yearly basis, you have to pay stuff: your rent, your car payment, insurance, gas, donation. You have to pay for these things on a monthly basis. This is non-negotiable. If you want to drive a car, you have to buy in gas. I mean, there's no way you're going to drive a car and be putting water in it. It doesn't work. Well, it wouldn't move. But whatever, you have to fill it with gas. And by buying gas, these are things that you spend on it on a monthly basis. It's not just daily or weekly, depending on how much you can afford. Okay. So once you have these outflows coming in, then we ask ourselves, how do I budget my money? Basic principles. And as a certified public accountant, this is as simple as you get. You put your inflow, which is how much you make, against your outflow, how much you spend. Okay? So if your outflow is greater than your inflow, if you make $100 and you spend $200, you are not doing the right thing. You are way out of line. You don't have that excess money to be out there spending. So your inflows should at least match your outflows at zero. Like everything should be in line. Like, okay, I make $100, I spend $100 at the end of the month. That is at least the baseline of what you want to do. Okay, so don't be making $50 and be spending $150. Well, what that means is you go out there borrowing from friends, and now you are ruining relationship. Your friends are trying to call you, you're not answering their calls because you believe when they're trying to get a hold of you, they're coming to get a hold of you because you owe them money. Okay, so guys, don't be spending more than you have. Okay, so to make a budget, it's simple. You could start by using an Excel. I believe all of us know how to use Excel, okay? So you start with your money, $100, and then you net out all your expenses. Expenses are very, very, very important, guys. Please listen to this. Expenses are very, very important. When it comes to expenses, too, we have two breakages. We have two types of expenses. We have the fixed and the variable expense. Fixed expense, as you can tell, is fixed. For example, rent. You pay for rent on a monthly basis. You pay for mortgage on a monthly basis. Those are fixed, whether you like it or not. If you want to live in somebody's house, you got to pay. That's a fixed expense. On the other hand, the most deadliest expense is the variable expense. It's extremely dangerous because it varies, it changes. It's not static. It doesn't stay at what it is today. For example, those of us who love to go out to eat. If you going out to eat, you spend maybe $10 today, tomorrow it will be $20. These are variable expenses. It doesn't stay at one spot. So the what do you call it? The local food joint or the restaurant that you go there today and you spend $10 and it fixes you. Like you're able to eat and you're all excited and everything goes boom. You know, like, oh man, I'm in great shape. Well, next week when you show up with $10, they tell you it's now at $15. You're like, oh man, I only budgeted for 10. So those expenses are killer. So if you don't take care, those are the ones that are going to kill you. But most people, and as the name implies, variable expenses, most of them we have control over. You don't need to be going out to eat all the time. So, or you don't need to be buying expensive shoes or clothes, or why? Why do you need that? Save for the future. You know, today you might be looking flashy today, today. But I tell you what, 20, 30 years from now, those of us who still wears the same clothes and the same old shoes over and over again, and we are looking into the future, they are going to be in a better place than you. Look at a guy like Elon Musk. He wears this funny shirt all the time. He's rich, but he doesn't even boast of Rolex or Mercedes Benz, G Wagons. You don't see that with him, okay? But most people who don't have anything, myself included, when we buy something little, yeah, I want to show off. I want to be on social media telling my friends that, hey, I got a new shoe, I got a Nike, I got this, I got that. I don't know. I don't know why we are made that way. But learn how to save your money and be focused, and be extremely focused on those variable expenses. Those are what kill most of us. Okay. All right. So if again, as I noted, if you do not take care of your variable expenses, it's going to run you into big, 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 big debt, and that's not something that you want. All right. Today my friend Jojo told me to make sure that I don't waste his time on this. So as you can tell, I'm going very fast. I'm not going slow as I typically would. But surprisingly, we've covered quite a bit, because we've covered, principle number one, how to make money. Principle number two, how do you budget your money? We have talked about that, which is pretty much really, really fast. Now, on principle number three. Principle number three, I want you to take notes and take it very seriously. Principle number three, save your money. Save your money. And I will tell you why savings are very, very, very important. So, saving is an essential component of good budgeting. So, remember, it goes back to point number two. Saving is an essential component of good budgeting. Using a savings account allows you to prevent emergencies from draining the money you need for monthly bills, and slowly build a reserve for making large future purchases. So if you're thinking of maybe getting a new, what do you call it, something that you need, furniture, bed, you will save towards that. That way, when you're able to pay to get a place on your own, you can afford to buy all those things in there. Okay. The reserve cash can be used for stuff, emergency stuff such as car repairs, apartment deposit, unplanned surgeries. Most of us walk in life thinking that for us, we are invincible, we're not going to get sick, we are okay, we are not, we wake up and we think, the day is ours. Stuff happens. Bad things happen to good people. You guys don't want to hear my story of what I've been through the last 2 to 3 weeks, but my friends on here really knows. Good things happen to bad people, and bad things happen to good people. Good people, bad, really bad things happen to them. And I've been a recipient the last couple of weeks, and you know what? My mind was all over the place. But again, I have good friends like Nana, Joe, Prince, who would listen to me, and also, as I come here and guide you and shepherd you, there are people that I also talk to in times of need. So that's that. I will speak to them when I'm in a big mess, or when life is it's going the opposite direction, and we bounce off ideas, and we pretty much help each other. Okay, so with our savings, when we say save your money, I've explained to you why you need savings. But one of the most important type of savings is the emergency savings. There's many of you that I talk to on a daily basis who tell me, I don't even have money to eat. I know it's a difficult situation that we face in Ghana and Africa, Nigeria, South Africa, and all those places. But it does not make sense to not have money to eat. Oh, you can say whatever you want, that, well, you are lucky you are in the United States. Well, I'm grateful to God that I'm here. But my point is, you have to have emergency savings. That way, those things don't happen to you. Most of you, one way or the other, get money somehow. There are some of you that we have given money to, that I hope that you are saving a portion of that money. That way, you don't come back tomorrow and say, well, I don't have money for food. Or somebody will ask me something and say, hey, I need $2,000 or something to pay for my fees. And then you ask him, how much have you come up with? Zero. They don't have anything. Well, here's the news. Strangers cannot help you if you're not helping yourself. God help those who help themselves. Like Henry, Bernard, all these people, when they ask for help, they tell you where they at. So it tells you that these are kids who trying to make a change for themselves, and it's so easy to help such people. Other than those who keeps bugging me, sending me messages, telling me that they need money for food. That these people don't even interact in our community. They don't do anything for GIU or anybody out there, and then they're asking you for money for food. I seem like I'm God and I can, create bread from the sky. I work very hard to make money, and I don't, give money out just because I feel I don't even make much, but I love to give because I believe that givers never lack. So all of us on here, try and have an emergency savings account, okay? An emergency savings account, you can start off what we refer to as a baby emergency savings account on a yearly basis. A baby emergency savings account is any savings account that is at least $1,000. So you make a plan. By the end of the year, I should save up to $1,000. $1,000. This sounds, I don't know, but I think 1,000 in the United States concept, it's relatively easy. You should be able to save 1,000 at the end of the year. Gradually, you can up that 1,000 yearly to 3,000 US dollars if your financial situations change. Ultimately, this emergency savings that we are talking about, you want to save up to 3 to 6 months of your outflows. Remember, we talked about outflows, your budgeting outflows, the money that you spend on rent, gas, insurance, mortgage payment. You should be able to save up to at least 3 months of them. Why is that important? Because you can lose your job. Stuff could happen to you. You may end up, needing a surgery that you have to pay for. These are things that nobody wakes up and say to God, I want to get into an accident today. But I tell you what, like I said, bad things happen to good people. You will get into that. Almost everybody on here will tell you a story about what they've been through, or some bad things that have happened to them today. So don't be sitting out there telling yourself that I worship God, or I have faith in Allah or God or Jesus. So I should be fine. You would not be fine, because you would face difficulties in life. We've all had our fair share. Every day of my life, I face difficulties. I talk to most of you guys who bring their problems to me, and I have my own personal problems to deal with, my family, my work, my friends, everybody. So don't be out there thinking that life is so good for this guy called Kessie. No, Kessie also goes through a lot in life. So just keep that in mind. But you should have those emergency savings, because those things would hit you. It would come for you, whether you are ready or not. Life will hit you. You would, at some point, may lose your job. Your mama might get sick. Your dad, your brother, your sister, your uncle, somebody really close to you would need help. And if you cannot help them out, it might not be a good thing. So make sure you save up to 3 to 6 months of your outflows, okay? That would save you a lot. That would save you. So those of you who are listening to me today, the objective is, if you don't have a bank account, you want to open a bank account right after here. Well, so Monday, okay? Do that. And once you have money, you have covered all your expenses and taken care of, almost everything, savings, like we've talked about. One of the most important fundamentals is you keep building wealth and give generously. Most people don't give money to anybody to help them. When I came to America, I realized that this is the most generous nation on earth. When I was going to school, I ran into people at the bar, people who actually helped me pay for my living expenses. They would just give me money for free, $100, $200 at the end of each month. These are people, I don't know them. Keep in mind, I'm from Africa. I don't look anything like them. Yet when they listen to your story, they just want to help. So most people in this country are very, 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 very generous. Hence why some of us have been able to adopt this lifestyle of giving money to people. So once, as your financial circumstances change, don't forget who you once were. Most people forget who they are once money starts to come in. They forget about everybody. They forget about their mommy, their daddy, their friends. They try to build a new circle because they think they have more money. Well, I told you this. Some of your friends are toxic, are horrible people. Leave them be, else they will drown you. I had most of these people in my life. They almost changed my destiny for me, but I had to make good choices and good decisions. Your life is in your hands. Choices that you make today are in your hand. If you have a horrible friend, hang up on them. They don't need to be in your circle. They're pathetic. They are. I don't want to call them losers, but some do describe them as that. I don't like to give labels to people because it's not nice. But most of these people are actually losers. I'll tell you that. You know where you are going, they cannot come with. So they would tell you and do all that it takes to bring you down. They would tell you why you cannot achieve something. They will give you all the negative reasons why your investment won't succeed and that somebody invested and lost all his money. They will always have something negative to say about you that you cannot make any progress in this life. So if you have one of those horrible people in your life, I tell you what, you know them. I'm sure, yeah, yep, you know them. Their names are popping in your head. Those people that others refer to as losers, they ain't going nowhere and they want to drown you with. Please hang up on them. My grandma used to tell me when I was a little kid that, you show me your friend and I will show you your character. And sometimes some of the people that you hang with, you realize that they are in sharp contrast to who you are, what you stand for, and where you are going. Again, they cannot go with, so they will do whatever it takes to bring you down. Well, hang up on them. They are not worthy of anything. They are worthy of destroying you. This brings me to our fourth and most important principle, which is the theme of our discussion today. How do you grow your money? Multiply your money. Multiply your money. Let your money work for you whilst you sleep. Isn't it surprising that Elon Musk, who 20 years ago or maybe 30 years ago was broke, and today he's the richest guy on earth? Somebody would say he started organization. Yes, but those things alone do not make him the richest guy on earth. But every day that he wakes up, his stocks in Tesla keep going like crazy. It going over and over, and it just, that's how you make money. So when it comes to multiplication of money, okay, there are a few that I would want to cover today. How do you make sure your $100 today is $200, 1,000, 10,000, 100,000, $1 million tomorrow? It is doable. They have done it. We don't have to be smart as Elon or Warren Buffett, but we can follow what they do. We may not be billionaires like them, but at least we can be thousandaires, or at least a millionaire or a multi-millionaire if you do these basic things. Principle one on the how to multiply your money. Invest your money. How do you invest your money? You either invest in the stock market, crypto market, or you can invest in a government treasury. Let me talk about government treasury for a little bit. For example, you can borrow money to the government. You buy treasury from the government. So, government of Ghana, for example, would say, okay, well, for our quarterly treasury or treasury for the next 3 months or 6 months, basically, if you buy treasury bill from us, the government trying to take money out of the system. If you buy $1,000 of treasury, we'll give you 30% or 25%. Do you know what the government just did over there? The government says if you give me $1,000, I'm gonna give you what 30% of 1,000. Isn't that like $300, guys? I don't know, but yeah, my math is just going crazy here. But the government at the end of the 3 months is going to add that $300 to the 1,000 that you gave to them. Do you know that the government of Ghana do this? Do you know that the government of Nigeria, every government in this world does it? If you have 20 or 2,000 Ghana cedis sitting in your bank account and it's been sitting there for the last 3, 4, 5 months, years, you could have bought treasury, and that 2,000 would have changed to 4,000 or 6,000. And once, because you're buying from the government, those monies are secured. You will get your money back because you know what? The government is the only person that prints money. So when the government is broke, they just go to the room and click on the machine grrr, and prints out money. So the government typically or generally would not default on their customers, if you want to call them, or people that lend money to them. So the government, you can do this. Don't have your money sitting in your bank. You can buy treasury. Those of us listening today, if you have money stuck in your bank account and you know you're not going to use it for the next 3 months, go to any bank in your local area, whether it's commercial bank or credit union, and tell them you want to buy government treasury. They would set it up for you and they would tell you how much you're going to get after quarter 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5. So you could see that, oh, wow, now my 1,000 looks to be how much? 2,000 at the end of the year. And most people do not take advantage of this. And their money is still sitting there. And because their money is not locked up somewhere and is sitting in their savings account, some friend will call them and give them some mumbo jumbo story. My boyfriend just said this, I'm broke, I don't have that. And then you say, well, can you lend me some money? And you go and give them $100 out of the 2,000 that you have stuck out there, and it keeps going down, keeps going down. By the time you realize your money is all gone, you've borrowed the wrong person. You've borrowed money to the wrong person. You should have borrowed it to the government, not that your friend who's not going to pay you back because they're going through a bunch of hardship in life, okay? So that is that. When it comes to government, borrow money to the government, you are safe and secured. Most of us probably didn't know, but just talk to your bank. If you have any material dollar sitting in your bank account, borrow it to the government. The government's going to pay you interest. And once the interest comes in, let's say you gave the government 1,000, and at the end of, say, 6 months, they give you 1,003. That is amazing. You just made $300 extra in a span of 3 or 6 months. Now, what do? You take that 1,003 and give it back to the government. You say, hey, I want to borrow it some more. Now I can afford to do 1,003. The government is going to pay interest on it at the end of that 6 months again. And this time, it's not going to be 1,003. It's going to probably be like 1,006 or something. You see how you're going to grow it? And after he pays you, you say, you know what? I think I can borrow you some more. Give him the same money that he gave you and expect greater returns in the next couple of months. That is how you multiply your money with the government. Don't be borrowing money to the wrong people. Borrow money to the right people. If you want to try this that I just said, those of you that we've given money to, those of you that we're going to give giveaways to today, if you don't need the money for what you said you need it for, go out there and buy treasury or something and see what happens in the next 3 months. That 400 Ghana cedi that we're going to give to you, it's going to turn out to be 1,000 Ghana in about a year. Lock it up. Lock it up, okay? That is borrowing money to the government. You can also invest in the stock market, crypto market. Listen, guys, let me put some disclaimer out here. I'm not a financial advisor, but I'm not encouraging you to go buy stock A, B, C, D. I'm just telling you how to grow your money, okay? So if you want to grow your money, you take risk. Life is all about risk taking. Staying in your house and not leaving the house is risk taking because the building can collapse on you and you will die. It's still risk. Or you can go outside and go for a walk and you probably will be knocked down by a car. Life is all about risk taking. So doing the same thing with your money does not make any difference. That is how life is structured. Everything is risky. Drinking water is risky. If you don't drink water, you would die. If you drink too much water, you would die. If we dump you in a pool or an ocean and you don't know how to swim, forget about surviving. You're going to be like me. You're going to die because you don't know how to swim just like me. Okay? So life is all about risk. So eating is risky. When you eat too much garbage food, you're going to get sick, and sick you will, and eventually you're going to die and you're going to look ugly too because you're not going to be in good shape. Okay? So life is all about risk taking. But when it comes to money, people will tell you why they won't invest because it's too risky. Well, you just walk from your house to the bank, or you walk from your friend's house to somewhere else. You could have been hit by a vehicle. Somebody could have shown up or in America, where sometimes, unfortunately, some people will show up at a place and start spraying us, everybody with guns. Well, it happens. You just pray to God that those things don't happen to you. But life is all about risk, my friends. So you have to take risk, okay? But to invest in the stock market, most people don't invest in the stock market. They tell you that, oh, I don't like looking at those graphs. They call those candlesticks graphs. Those things are for Wall Street, the elite, the people who are really smart and all that. Well, good for you. Those people will continue to be very smart and continue to be very rich, whilst you sit there and be broke, because you don't want to do what the rich people are doing. You know what you are doing? You're going to be broke, and you're going to be out there begging for money when you are old. Your old age, you're going to be broke because you don't invest in anything. Most of our friends, some of them that I know that I introduced to crypto market, I introduced to stock trading, some had made so much gains that they have been able to do so many big things in their lives. Well, I don't get lucky all the time, but at least I make my own in my own little way too. So invest in the stock market. There is a stock market in Ghana, in case you didn't know. There's a stock market in Nigeria. There is a huge market in the United States, okay? For example, let me tell you why investing is very important. Let me tell you why investment is extremely, extremely important. The S&P 500, it's one of the best trackers of stock performances in the United States, okay? It's viewed as a leading stock index. When we talk about index, it's a pool of stocks that comes together that for us to assign dollar to. It's one of the best in the world. It has averaged an annual return of 8% since 1957. That is 61 years ago. So, listen, guys, if you had invested $1,000 in 1957, $1,000, and it was pegged at the adjusted inflationary rate of 3.6%, if you had put in $1,000, it would be about 10,000 US dollars today. Think about it. If you had invested $1,000 at an adjusted rate of 3.6% based on inflation in the United States, you would have made 10,000. So if your mama didn't like you, and when she gave birth to you, she had $1,000 and said, Cassie, for you, I don't really like you. Of all of my kids, you are the one that I don't even want to see. Because of that, I'm going to put about $1,000 in a savings account for you. That way, someday when you're old enough, you can go for it. That would be $10,000 today, and I would have been very happy with that. But that would be 61 years. Guys, think about it. If the same principle, I told you the S&P has returned about 8% on a yearly basis. If you put $1,000, and that savings was done in 1957, $1,000 at a rate of 8%. This time, not the 4% that we talk about, 8%. Listen to what's going to happen. That $1,000 growing at a compound interest rate of 8% on a yearly basis equals 109,000 US dollars. And you wonder why the rich is rich. So if they had put down $2,000 in 1957 and forgotten about it, they are worth almost $250,000 today in an investment in the S&P 500. You are sitting down there, you don't do anything. You've spent $2,000 on shoes, on nonsense stuff. Meanwhile, you could have stashed this $2,000 somewhere, put it in the S&P 500. And in about 60 years, when you are about to retire, you would have over $200,000 for you. You don't do none of this. Most of us don't do any of this. They tell you it's for the rich. Who said that? Who came up with that principle? You are rich too. You can be rich if you want to be rich. And most people do not do that. If you had put $1,000 away in 1957, which I think my mom was born or something, I don't know. But if she has done that for each and every child of hers and said, okay, Joe, I'm going to put this for my future kids. Like if my mama has done that, I'd probably be having about $110,000 to the subway. Now I'm sitting out here broke. I don't have anything. Hey, my mom is amazing. She's done a lot of good things for me. She has supported me throughout life. This is just an example. I don't want you guys thinking that I have a horrible mom. No, I look the same like my mom, but she's more beautiful than me. So whatever, I have an incredible family, both in and out. My mom has been a great supporter of me. So you know what? She's an amazing woman, but maybe she should have put $1,000 away for us in 1957. Okay, so that's why you need to invest. Don't be out there not investing and be telling people that your money is going to disappear. Okay, well, you are going to be broke. I promise you that you are going to be broke. It will get to a time in your life, the shoes and all those shirts, the nonsense stuff that you've bought, nobody cares for them. It gets old, and what are you going to do with that? What are you going to do with that? Absolutely nothing. Someday we want to retire and be living off comfortably. If you are retired and you are making about 5,000, 8,000, 10,000 US dollars on a monthly, that's good enough. If I'm sitting somewhere in Africa, sitting back home in Ghana, and I'm having a great time with about 10,000 US dollars on a monthly, what am I going to do with that money? That's a lot of money. You say whatever you want, even 50 years from now, it's still big money. What am I going to do with it? I can do whatever I want with that money at that point. So, guys, learn to invest. Don't let people talk you out of investment, okay? Crypto market. I know Mustafa wants me to talk about crypto. Crypto is one of the most riskiest investment that you would want to do. But hey, the higher the risk, the higher the price. I know people who put in $9,000 in crypto market in about 3 months or so, it 10 to 500,000 US dollars. $9,000 turned to 500,000 US dollars. $500,000. Most of you, I know Ajua is into crypto. Most of you are taking advantage of, the market, investing and making the right decision. You should too. Don't be sitting out there saying that I cannot invest. I don't know where to invest. If you are serious about something, you will find that information. I think in Ghana they say that a lot. Information, that word, information can change your life. We give out these information for free. People pay to listen to what we are saying. I had to pay to listen to stuff like this. Most of us are married, yet we don't even have life insurance on us. What if something bad happens to you? Get life insurance. That's also an investment, and actually a great one. So here in America, two people will get married and then they'll go for life insurance. And they say, in case, my wife or my husband died before his time, or even whenever he dies, I want you guys to give me 2 million. Then the insurance company says, okay, well, you have to make monthly contribution of $300 for maybe 10 years. If he doesn't die, we'll give you certain dollars back. But should somebody die, you're going to get that 2 million back. Well, assuming that there's nothing fishy about the death, like you just didn't go and kill yourself so your wife and kids, or went and hide in Mexico and claiming that you're dead so your wife will become a millionaire and you guys will meet together somewhere in Zimbabwe. No, it doesn't work that way. But life insurance is also very, very important, especially those of us with kids. It's very important that you do that. But that's just down the road investment that you want to make when you are married. So with our crypto investment, okay, it's very risky, but the rewards are insane. So if you have money that you can afford to lose, that's what I always tell my friends and people that I advise to invest. You can throw some in the crypto market, maybe $100 or $50, and you never know, because if I had invested $50 in Bitcoin back in 2009 when I got to United States, I'm probably a millionaire today. $50. Think about it. So at that point, Bitcoin was trading for 3 cents. 3 cents. Today, that the market is not even good, it's over $20,000. 3 cents, from 3 cents to, it's insane. That's how you make money, how you multiply your money. You invest, you take risk, and most of us don't. We should be taking risk. Also, in America, one of the benefits of being in America is or working for an employer in the United States is taking advantage of our 401k concept. So we have two, and guys, listen to this. I am a CPA, a public certified public accountant. So all these things that I'm telling you is based off on knowledge, experience, and the fact that I do these things. I do it. I apply it in my life. But if you have an employer that you work for, and the employer here in the United States, 401k, when you are hired, they say, hey, each 2 weeks paycheck, if you put, say, 3% of that away, I will also add 3% for you. Free money. You want to hear something? Most people do not take advantage of this free money that the employer would give you. Well, the employers are smart. If you don't invest, I'm not going to invest in you. So you have to put down 3% for me to match 3% for you. For some employers, it means you have to be with the organization for maybe 2, 3, 4, 5 years for it to be fully vested, for you to take the money that that employer is going to give to you. But most people do not do that. It's free money. Take advantage of 401ks. You know, most financial advisors say if you can put 15%, which is 9% from you, and say if you're an employer who matches up to 6%, 15% on a monthly basis of your salary, you will retire a millionaire in this country, assuming you work for so long and you make maybe 50,000 or more a year. Most people do not do that. They rather use their money to buy things that are not worth anybody's time. And with 401k, if you're making those contributions, they take the money out of your paycheck before you actually get it. So that's the good news. So you are going to have that, but by the time you get your money, it's taken out. So you don't even see it. So why wouldn't you do this? I left my employer, my former employer that I worked with for over 10 years. And when I left them and they said this was my 401k, I was like, wow. Had I not done that, I would have left the place broke. I wouldn't have anything. So when I retire someday, this $10,000 that I'm talking about, I probably wouldn't have it because I wouldn't have that money. So if you work for an employer who wants you to invest in your future, invest with them. Those who work for good companies such as Google, Facebook, it even vests the day that they hired you. So when they hire you today, you don't have to be with them for so long. Take advantage of all these 401k, Roth, IRA. These are stuff that I don't have to go into details because it would take most of our time. But I tell you what, these are things that you should invest in. If the employer is doing it, you can afford to do it yourself, and then you match it for you. And someday when you retire, you're gonna be rich, rich, rich as hell. You're gonna be very happy, whilst your friends who are blowing their money on drinks and useless stuff are gonna be broke. But you would be in a better place. One other thing too, one other investment opportunity would be investment in real estate. What's an investment in real estate? So instead of renting, you can buy, you can mortgage here. And I will tell you this story. There's this guy that I met at Chase Bank when I went to discuss GYU with Chase. The guy told me he moved from the Bay Area, San Francisco, to Las Vegas. And when he moved here, he was pissed off about life because if you've been to San Francisco, it's one of the most beautiful cities on earth. And it's the weather, everything is perfect in California. When he got here, he was upset because life hasn't worked according to plan. So what he did was he bought a house, 2011. He bought it in Las Vegas for $100,000. It doesn't mean he had to pay $100,000 for it. We pay it on a monthly. Most of us have mortgage that we pay a monthly. So instead of rent, we pay mortgage. It's the same concept. So he bought that house for $100,000. Fast forward, when I went and talked to him last week, the house is now worth over 350,000 US dollars. Do you know what that means? He can sell that house today, and he would take his 100,000 that he put in 2011, just about 10 years ago, and he would have in profit over 250,000 US dollars. So those of you who are just renting, and you think they would tell you, I remember when I was in Fargo, I would say, "Oh, I wouldn't be in Fargo for that long. I don't need a mortgage." I stayed in Fargo for 10 years or something. So eventually I bought a house in Fargo. I sold for good money. But those of you who are paying rent, you are just putting your money in fire. It's useless. There's no need to rent if you can afford to mortgage. Okay. So when you go into mortgage, you have an opportunity to make an equity on your investment. Meaning the house prices keeps going up and up and up and up and up. And if it's going up, okay, if it's going up, you would be like you'd be sitting in your house and they say, well, the house that you bought for 100,000 last year, it's worth $150,000. You know what you can also do? You can go to the bank and tell them my house is worth $150,000. The bank will say, oh, we can give you $50,000 in cash because your house is worth as much. And then you can pay it little by little. You can use that money for business and invest in something else. See, there are so many strategies to life to being successful. Most people do not take advantage of it. They just sit there and complain. They don't read, they don't research. Information. And we are sharing this information out for free. And somebody out there would say, I'm not going to be on this seminar. It's your loss. It's your, these things that I'm telling you, I am doing it. It's you that I believe that needs the help. Hence why we are here to help you. Okay. All right. So, what other investment could you do? An investment in business. Once your 401k, your savings, your stock market, and everything has been blowing up for you. So, let's say that my friend Joe puts down there, and by Joe, I mean Joe, who is on here. I have a lot of friends called Joe. I don't want them to think I'm talking about them. So I'm talking about Joe, who used to refer to himself as something else. Okay, Joe? So yeah, my friend Joe decides to invest $50,000 in his in stock market. Well, the stock market goes up to the 50,000 turns to 250,000. Now, what Joe did was Joe takes that 100,000 on there and starts a business. Or say you invest in the Ghanaian market, okay? And then you put your money out there, and then it goes up. You invest in Ghana or in Nigeria or in South Africa, you invest, say, 100,000, and it turns out to be 1 million. You could take that $900,000 on there, or 900 cities, or whatever that is, and start a business. Start selling water. Start selling palm wine. I believe with that, Rabna, who's one of my friends that I talked to, she started a palm wine business. She goes to college, she pays for college herself, and still runs a business in Ghana, Legon. So this is not something that you would say it's for Elon Musk to do. This is a girl. She sells and bake bread, pastries. She is a survivor. She's living. She's doing all these things by herself, and now selling on top of going to school, selling palm wine. You're sitting at home doing nothing, going on social media and commenting stupid crap like Manchester United is gonna lose, whatever. What does that mean? Spend your time wisely. There is more to life than flashy things or the stuff that we see today. And the Rabna story that I'm telling you, she's just a local Ghanaian living life. And funny enough, when we can afford to help her, we help her. We have to see that you're doing something for yourself for us to help you. If you're not doing anything for you, forget about you. I'm not going to waste my money on you. I have kids. I can invest in them. You see what I just told you? The money that we give to you, we've spent thousands of dollars since we started giving money away in November. If we take, let's say we've spent over $5,000 or $6,000. If we put that money away at 8% interest for the next 60 years, Joe, Prince, Nana, my friend AD, we will have over, listen to that, over $500,000 in the next 60 years. So we can do that. But we do help you out because we want you to be successful. Invest in business. Start a business if you want to. My business is you. My investment is in you. And I like it that way. With that, I will conclude today's seminar by telling you one of the most famous things or famous quote in investment. The father of investment, we call him Warren Buffett. But before I tell you the quote, listen to this. Wealth creation is something most people aspire to, but believe it's difficult or impossible. Thanks to the abundance of tools and resources, it has never been easier to find a legitimate way to amass riches. Be patient on your investment. You can be a millionaire, you can be successful. Be patient, have faith. I remember I was holding one crypto. Well, I used to have some Bitcoin. I sold too early. And when I sold the damn Bitcoin for like $3,000, it went to $60,000 the next couple of years. So think about it, guys. So you have to invest, okay, and be patient. I didn't have that patience, so I lost that money that I would have made. But here's what Warren Buffett said in terms of patience and investment and multiplication of money. When you invest in the stock market, this is what Warren Buffett. This is not me speaking. This is Warren Buffett. This is what he have to tell you. He says the stock market is a device for transferring money from the impatient to the patient. If you're not patient with your investment, you will sell and you'll be gone. And by the time you know, that investment, that $1,000 investment, is worth millions. Warren Buffett further goes on to say, time is the friend of the wonderful business, the enemy of the mediocre, those naysayers. One of the clear and simple investment edge that anyone can choose to take advantage of is patience. And with that, I conclude today's seminar on financial literacy. I have given you all the tools and resources, everything that you need to succeed. Again, I have these slides. We will upload this on YouTube. We hope and pray that you will join us and, subscribe to our YouTube channel. If we grow our YouTube channel and we could monetize it and make money of it, give it to you guys. That's why I ask you guys to subscribe, share, and watch the videos. We can make money from that and use it for your own self. I don't need those money, but those things can help you help yourself. So when I say subscribe, I'm not asking you to help me. I'm asking you to help yourself because most of you could benefit from the monetization of YouTube. If we could get about 1,000 subscribers and we have video out there, when people watch our videos, we get paid. That money comes back to GIU. So I strongly urge you guys to subscribe when I ask you to subscribe because it would be to your own advantage. Okay. So with now, we will take some questions. My friend Joe is on. Joe, if you want to unmute yourself, praise Joe. Actually, is my best friend. He's done a lot for me. He's a very smart man. He's a tech guy. He works with Facebook. I have to speak about him. Joe has contributed a lot of money to help a lot of people. He is like 50 million times smarter than me. So I can't wait for him to share some of his wisdom with us. Joe, you can unmute yourself and please go ahead and speak.
Yeah, no, I got it from here. Kessler, that's your humble way of saying that you're an equally smart guy. And
Nope.
the GIU team, right? I'm following everything behind the scenes. I see all the great work that everyone is doing, right? From Henry, with school, with all the good work you're putting in. Mustafa, with the excavator thing you're doing, right? Everybody, I see the good work behind the scenes, and it's great. And another plug in here is all these things that is being shared by Cassie, by everybody else, right? I wish I had those when I was growing up. I wish I had these great points. I wish I had these people to talk to me there, right, when I was growing up. But now that you guys are getting the opportunity to hear these things, don't let them just be words. Let them be actions and try to do something with them because these things can truly, truly, truly change your life. Um, on today's topic, I think Cassie has really shared a lot there, right? How to make money, how to budget money, how to save money, how to multiply. A few things that I'll probably add in that space, in the space of savings, I think I've learned along that helps is whatever the money one gets, right? Putting a little bit aside all the time, right? Like when we were kids, and making it inaccessible. When we were kids, there's always that what susu box or something like that, right? Which makes it so inaccessible. You have to go through a means before you can get that. That always helped. So if it's having a bank account that is a little bit, it will take you a little bit journey to get there. That is something that you can probably do. Save that money in that space so that when you have to go there, now you have to think about it. Is it really worth the time to do it before you go there, right? Learning how to keep expenses low, right? Me till this age, I think about 8 years ago, I made up the commitment that as I'm continuing to grow and grow in money, how do I keep my expenses low, or how do I keep my expenses the same? Those are the things that can also help you make more money because you are not spending as much. There's a very big difference between growing money and spending money. If you're able to know what activities help you grow money versus what activity help you lose money, that will go a long way. An example could be everybody wants the latest iPhones, right? That is a way of spending money. I could use that money, probably like Mustafa is doing or somebody else, to learn how to operate excavators. 3 years from now, the money I'll be getting every month or every 6 months can buy iPhones. But if I buy that iPhone now, I would not be able to take that excavation class. And guess what? Maybe in 2 months from now, I break the screen of that iPhone. That's it, right? So let's know the difference between saving money, sorry, the difference between spending money and growing money. That's a big concept that we should take away from this. And the last piece that I'll add here, right? I do really respect people's time and trying to stay on that time concept is um sometimes we think about retirement and we think retirement is very far away. Possibly true, but think day after day, time after time, before you realize 10 years is gone, before you realize 20 years is gone. The big thing is that once we are old, being a grandfather or being a grandmother, and we don't have the strength to work, we don't have the strength to do anything, how else would people respect us, right? One of those ways. If you're a grandfather and you don't have money, people don't even look at you. When you say good morning, people don't even give you that regard. If you're putting in those measures now, right, and you're at that old age, people respect you differently. Health becomes very important at that age. And you all know how expensive health can get, right? Maybe you just need a small surgery. And because you couldn't save in your young age, you couldn't save it here. The time in which people will put money together and come and do that surgery for you won't be time enough. And before you know it, one is gone just because of the money. So being able to save that now, being able to do that now, and think about how it's going to benefit you in the future would be that. I know you all will want to be that old grandfather, old grandmother that people respect because of your money. People respect, right, in that regards. And you can also take care of your health. So look at it from that standpoint and make these points that has been put together today, make them actionable. There's so many ways to learn about money, so many resources out there. The same Instagram that we can take, look at different things on how things are going. You can use that same Instagram to listen to 5 second, 10-second videos of what people are doing in terms of growing their money. You can Google things. What can I do today to help me make more money later? And I hope that from today onwards, all of us in here will be leaning more towards how can we grow our money versus how can we spend our money. Kessie has shared a lot today, and let's try to make that actionable. Thank you, Kessie. Just passing that back to you.
Thank you, Joe. Thank you, Joe. You wonder why he's a successful kid. I when I met Joe, he had first been to the country. Yeah, so I met him in Fargo, and he became one of we would say, because if you're older than somebody in Ghana, he becomes one of your prodigies, your little kid that you. So him and his best friend AD, who I'm also good friends with, so we all became like close together, and we always consider them. We call them kids. We used to call Joe and AD kids. The kids. Well, fast forward, I learned so much from the kid. Jojo became not just a kid in America. I learned a lot from him. I learned even how to open my own what do you call it, personal financials. Having a personal financial advisor. It was because of Jojo. And one other thing that Jojo has done in my life that you guys probably don't know is I moved from Fargo. I made a leap into being a data scientist and all that because of Jojo. He's one guy, when he finds information, he shares. And when I was looking for a job, he came to my house. He showed me all the things that he did to get to Facebook. And when I sat back after he left, I said to myself, huh, there's a reason why he got that job. The guy is aggressive, zealous. He sets his mind on something. The only thing that probably would stop him would be death. But if he's not, everything that he wants to be is being. Keep in mind, he moved from Salesforce, one of the best organizations to work with, to go to Facebook. So the effort that he put into getting to work in one of the best organizations, if I can put that into it, I probably will become the president of the United States. Okay. So listen, if he's telling you something, this is somebody who is a living example. He takes care of his money. He makes a lot, but you don't see Joe with flashy nonsense. No, he doesn't go about buying G wagon. I'm sure he can afford to pay maybe three G wagons, but the guy just drive his old vehicle that he took from Fargo. So learn from people like this. And like I said, if you're not following him, follow him. I'm trying to get him to be active on social media. I'm sure that's not going to happen much on Twitter, but he still reads everything that goes on. He's able to, allude to the fact that, what Henry, Mustafa, all the things that you guys are doing, he's reading and following up. And like I said, this is not just me, it's a bunch of friends helping me. Prince and Nana, do you guys have anything to contribute? If you want to, you could request the mic. Our board members are amazing. So Prince, Nana, if you want to speak, please request the mic so I could let you guys on to speak. Then we could take maybe three questions from the audience. Prince and Nana. See, okay. Prince, have you requested a mic? Oh, Nana. Let's see. I think Nana has requested a mic. Okay. Kofi, I have you on. Please unmute yourself, and we would love to hear from you. So Nana is actually why I think he's trying to connect, but it's not connecting, which is quite strange because he's sitting in Texas. Um, I don't, Prince, I don't see your request here. Let's see, speakers, let's see. But it says you've requested for something. I don't know. I had initially sent you a request to be a host. You should accept one of them because I don't see any request from you here. Let's see. Um, Prince, request the mic if you would. But anyways, until he requests, then I think Nana is trying to connect. I don't know what happened to him. But I mean, in the spirit of time, I'm going to take three questions. I think I have one from I think Mohammed. Okay, Prince, Prince. If you can hear me, please go ahead and share your contribution with us.
Hello, guys. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Hey, this is a great topic today, and I'm glad that Jojo chipped in. And just like Cassie said, Jojo and I and myself, with the whole crew back in North Dakota, we're very great friends. As for that matter, great family, and we have maintained that friendship all the way to now. Even though we've dispersed in the United States, Jojo being in the New York area, Cassie in the Las Vegas area, myself in Maryland, DC. Because of the strategy we took, we learned from our mistakes back when we were pretty much very, young age back in North Dakota. We're finding ourselves through school and all that. And one funny thing I want to share, I always want to make sure that whatever topic that Cassie talks about here, it is pretty much more of like a life advice that we have gone through ourselves. So I'm sure Cassie's probably, President Cassie probably forgotten about this story. But one time, one fateful day, it was the end of the year, pretty much, I think around somewhere January, February timeframe, when most of Americans start filing their taxes. And I walk to Cassie's house to get started with the taxes. And Cassie and I sat in his living room, and then we pull all our report. We called the view to all the gross salary you had for the whole year. And it was so funny because we looked at all the hustle working for the bank at that time. Our gross salary wasn't even up to $20,000 the whole year. And I'm sure Cash remember this. We were just laughing. Why were we laughing? Because we didn't make much, but we can tell ourselves that we accomplished everything we're supposed to accomplish within that year. We're able to pay our bills for the full year, unexpected expenses, miscellaneous expenses, the fixed expenses, everything, and even send some back home to support friends and family, right? So imagine living in this lifestyle and then God blessing you to a different, life where you have more to even spend. That brings you back to discipline, being able to save, be financial literate so that you can be smart enough to make the wise decisions. Fast forward recently, about 3 months ago, my friend, like you said, we communicate with each other in life. Most of the time, before you're going to be successful in this country or wherever you are, try to have a good network. The friends, the people around you will carry you wherever you go. The conversations, the input, the investment you have in your friends, right? And I remember I seek Cassie's advice when I was making a very huge investment. This investment was buying a house. And I was a little bit more like curious and I was more confused, but with conversations and we a lot of research and all that, we accomplished our goal. And I'll say that is the smartest move I've ever made ever since being in this country, right? And these are some of the things that he spoke about a couple of minutes ago, right? Investing, making smart decisions, trying to make sure that you include yourself with smart people who are going to help you along the line, pull you up, learn from them. These are all part of what we're trying to pretty much install in this family GIU. So take this serious, and I hope our family grows. We share good news. We help ourselves. We make sure that we are pretty much blessing and impacting lives so that we can all grow as one. I appreciate you guys and thank you, Casey, for this wonderful seminar today. And thank you generously to Jeremy, Jojo, and Nana say for always coming together when we need to make such contributions. We just don't even argue at all. We just talked about it and everybody chip in and then we make it happen, right? We don't even think about it because we've known what we have gone through. So helping and impacting other lives is just the easiest thing we can ever talk about. So thank you guys and God bless you.